house on the road, if you will, here at the Kansas City Public Library. It is my honor and privilege to preside over this special day for all the participants and your family and your friends. Just a few things I want to note early is pictures. You can take pictures, but now if you can do so from where you're sitting, if you have any pictures to take. Also, I know we have a lot of children who are in here today, and they're free to express themselves, and I hear they're doing that now in any way they see fit. And lastly, after the ceremony is over, I will position myself somewhere back in the back of the room for, if you want to take a photo. I promise to use my good side if you want a photo. So again, welcome you all. The next order of business is to introduce the applicants for citizenship. And with that, we have Kimberly Brisnan from the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services.
May I please record that?
It may.
Good morning. This morning, I would like to present 99 applicants for United States citizenship. These applicants come from 43 different countries. They've met all the formal requirements imposed by the law of the United States for their citizenship. Upon taking the oath, each will have the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of a United States citizen. I'm going to go through the slideshow here, and as your country appears, please stand for recognition. Your name will also be posted on the slide. Argentina. Australia. Bhutan. Burma. Cameroon. China. Colombia. Congo. Costa Rica. Cuba. Dominican Republic. El Salvador. Eritrea. Ethiopia. Germany. Ghana. Guatemala. Haiti. India. Iran, Iraq, sorry, Jamaica, Jordan, Kenya, Libya, Malaysia, Mexico, Nepal, Nigeria, Pakistan, Philippines, Somalia, South Korea, Sudan, Syria, Tanzania, Thailand, Turkey, Uganda, Ukraine, United Kingdom, Venezuela, Vietnam, Cambodia, this, Your Honor, is our class of applicants for today. At this time, the government moves that the oath of allegiance be administered to the prospective citizens of the United States, and that all petitions for name change be granted.
Okay, thank you. Well, the motion for acceptance and name change is sustained. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as judge presiding over this ceremony today, I have one job, and that is to follow the program, and I failed to do that. Because who we have here today with us, who wanted to also obviously make it open remarks, is John Herron. He's the director and chief executive of the Kansas City Public Library, so my apologies.
No apologies needed. On behalf of the Kansas City Public Library, I want to welcome you to one of our favorite events of the year, We sponsor hundreds of activities throughout the calendar year, but very few of them stand as tall or as important as the naturalization ceremony. You've each worked so incredibly hard to get here. I want to encourage you to take just a moment and reflect on where your journeys began, no doubt so long and so far away from right here. At the foundation of the American experiment is the idea of citizenship. It's not an American invention, of course. Classical civilizations understood the concept, but in our context, all that stands as proof of the strength and vitality of our national political system stems from citizenship. That you all pursued this goal with such focus and dedication stands as testimony to its value. And in America, this value has deep roots. Come with me all the way back to 1884, where there was an extremely consequential presidential election in a very divided nation. Turns out it was a time not so different from our very own. In that election, one party had become so extreme that many of its most loyal and most dedicated members left. And through compromise and cooperation, they voted for a reformer from an opposing party. What resulted from that effort was something known as the Progressive Era, one of the most incredible periods of positive social and economic change in our nation's history. That ability to find common cause is an important lesson for all Americans, young and old. But I bring up this brief example for a different reason, because watching that election that very year was one of America's best-known cultural figures, the writer Walt Whitman. He didn't focus on the outcome of the election, but rather what captured his attention was what it meant to participate in the process. Looking back at that election, Whitman wrote, "If I was to name what makes this nation so powerful, it is not our natural resources, nor is it our thriving industry, but our humanity on America's choosing day. The heart of it, not in the chosen, but in the act itself." His century-old language can be hard to understand at times, but what he is saying is that it doesn't always matter who is elected, but that citizens get the opportunity to choose. Many of you have come from places where that right is not assured, but of course here it is. No one in this room needs to be reminded that the American system is far from perfect, but our request for you today and every day moving forward is to remember that the promise of America works only with an active and engaged citizenry. It is now part of your responsibility to ensure that that ideal remains valid for every single citizen. It is no small obligation, but is required to ensure that you and your children get access to the benefits of our national system. This might seem heavy, but know that you don't have to do it on your own. Indeed, many of us here will be here to help you along the way. Thank you for being here, and many congratulations.
Next, we have Laura Bax, who is the Chief Deputy of Operations for the Western District of Missouri, and she will administer the oath at this time.
Thank you, Judge. All applicants, please rise. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by law. That I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by law. That I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by law. And that I take this obligation freely without mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God.
Congratulations. You all can be seated. Well, now it's my extreme pleasure to introduce our guest speaker here today, Jeffrey Razmovic. He is the Deputy Chief of Staff for the Department of Homeland Security. So please join me in welcoming the Deputy.
Thank you, Your Honor, for the introduction. What a special day. And we are in a special place, the Kansas City Library, which is not only a beautiful location, but a place with spirit and heart, a place that supports immigrants in the Kansas City community with their citizenship applications. Thank you for the opportunity to join you. Today is special because of all of you, and I would like to recognize one special individual, Maria del Refugio Orozco, a new American from Mexico who just naturalized at the age of 96. Congratulations. Congratulations. If I may, I would like to share with you a story. In December 1956, less than 2 months after Soviet tanks rolled into Hungary, a 7-year-old Hungarian girl named Evie was told by her parents that it was time to go. Evie's parents, both of whom were Jewish survivors of the Holocaust, knew firsthand the horrors of persecution, and they wanted a better life for themselves and for their children. So Evie, her older brother Joe, and their parents took a train to a town near the Austrian border. They stayed at a safe house near the border until nightfall, when it was time to make their escape. They walked for hours. The Soviet soldiers shot flares into the sky to detect Hungarians trying to escape, and Evie and her family lay flat on the ground so that they wouldn't be noticed as the flares lit up the night sky. For months afterwards, Evie had a recurring nightmare that she had fallen asleep on the journey and was left behind to be caught and imprisoned by the Soviet army. But as a family, they managed to cross the border into Austria under the cover of darkness, and on Christmas Day, 1956, as a family, they boarded an airplane and came to the United States as refugees. Evie's father got a job at a hospital, they learned English, and they became US citizens, declaring the same oath of allegiance that you declared just moments ago. Evie grew up, she finished school, she got her PhD, and she took a job serving the very US government that offered her and her family a place of refuge. She got married to a kind and funny man named Victor, himself an immigrant, and also the son of Holocaust survivors. And together they had 2 children, a girl and a boy. They built the life that their parents had risked everything for. And that is why, as Evie and Victor's son, it is among the great honors of my life to be the very first to congratulate you, to welcome you, and to call you my fellow Americans. Congratulations. You come from 43 different countries, and each of you had a different journey to get here. But I know one thing that binds all of your journeys together. None of them was easy. And as you begin on your new American journey, I hope you know that that doesn't mean leaving your heritage or your story behind. On the contrary, I hope that you carry your story, your journey, with you and share it every chance you get. Because your story is an American story, as old as the country itself. And when you share it, you enrich those around you. You enrich this nation of immigrants. My mom helped to enrich this country, not only by sharing her story, but by serving in the United States government for 30 years. And she instilled in me that same belief in public service. And today I have the privilege of serving as the Deputy Chief of Staff of the United States Department of Homeland Security, where I have the distinct honor of working for the Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, who is himself a refugee to this country and a naturalized citizen just like you. His parents brought him to this country in 1960. They were political refugees, having fled the communist takeover of Cuba. And we know that people fleeing their homes in search of a better life is not a thing of the past. Some of you know this firsthand. Around the world, there are more displaced people right now than at any time since World War II. And in the midst of all that uncertainty around the world, the tradition that we perform here today, our oldest tradition, our proudest tradition, serving as a nation of welcome and possibility for immigrants, has never been more important. Thank you for the opportunity to share in this important moment. My fellow Americans, congratulations.
Well, thank you, and thank you for sharing that wonderful story. You know, I have now been on the federal bench for 11 years, and when I took this job, I had no idea that this was part of our duties, because this, to me, it never gets old. This is the best part of what I do. Oftentimes in a job where you're at times putting people in jail, which is not fun at all, this is the other side of that. So it is always my honor and pleasure to welcome you as citizens of the United States, the best country in the world. I welcome you to a country which has again and again proved itself, and to the world that it has integrity and ideals which serve all tests of human frailties and human errors. No nation on earth was ever founded with such a burning desire on the part of all who participated to have a country that would guarantee to every citizen all those basic, fundamental rights that ensure human dignity, freedom, life, property, and happiness. We assert our belief in and dedication to those rights. At the heart of our nation is our Constitution, the product of great and eternal wisdom, expressing freedoms and rights obtained and preserved by the blood and sacrifice of our forefathers. For over 200 years, our Constitution has been the symbol of one's capacity to govern themselves. It has fostered government of, by, and for the people. From its wisdom flow growing concepts of liberty, justice, and human dignity. We owe it our freedom, past, present, and future. The United States is a land of but one people gathered from many countries. As citizens, we are all sworn to a single loyalty. For being a good American does not depend on whether one is foreign-born or native-born, but whether he or she lives the ideals and carries out the duties and responsibility of citizenship. While your adopted homeland, the United States of America, demands and deserves your allegiance, which you have sworn today, you are fortunate to have and should have concern about the land and the people of your birth. Now that you are Americans, we do not expect you to abandon the rich heritages that you each come from. You must nurse these memories, teach your children of them, and enjoy your ethnic or national communities all the time, using them as a building block for a better and more productive life in the new homeland of yours. From now on, it is your sacred and sworn responsibility to uphold and defend the country and what it stands for. You know, it has been said that liberty is a blessing that must be constantly nurtured. In this rapidly changing world, every American must understand the system of government by which we live and do his or her best to make it work even better in this highly complex, demanding, and sometimes rebellious society. Although we are sometimes very different from each other, it is our obligation to be inclusive and live in harmony. Good citizenship and our Constitution are inseparable. Both must walk in unison, or neither can truly survive. Our responsibility as citizens is to work hard to contribute and improve our way of life wherever and whenever we can. What are some of the ways we can do that? Well, we can exercise our right of ballot, participate in your government by voting, and strive to learn all you can about each issue, each candidate, and to that end, vote intelligently. Be patriotic. If we are to continue to enjoy the fruits of liberty, we can do no less than follow the example of the men and women who have won freedom for us. Be a law-abiding, and by example, encourage others to be. Support your courts and your law enforcement. Participate actively in the affairs of your city, state, and nation. Support your schools, your communities, charities, and service organizations. Respect the rights and privileges of others, and let fair play be your motto. And lastly, be willing to work and work hard, not only to acquire worldly possessions, but also to gain education and knowledge. I truly, truly wish for all of you the rich blessings that come with being American. This is a very thrilling moment for all of us. So what I'm going to have you now is to stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And you can be seated. That concludes our program, and congratulations to everyone again.